said in their report, AI can build out models for influencing large populations of voters in a way that we haven't seen before. Frank, huge year for elections. The platforms themselves are very much going to be in focus. They got slammed the last election cycle for the way that misinformation was rife across many of those platforms. Do you think they've learned their lesson?
No, I don't. I think that the commercial interests are just too great, and I think we're seeing that. I mean, look at the whole OpenAI story, right? Something was set up with people to protect us. That was the goal of OpenAI, not for profit, and then the commercial interests very quickly dominated and overruled, actually, the set of principles that the not-for-profit was set up. The subsidiary overtook, because there's just very, very huge incentives for these big platforms to maintain their dominance. So I think it's going to be a difficult year, I think. And by the way, the mis and disinformation is not a new thing. Right? We've been dealing with it throughout the world, throughout democratic society, since, for many years, several election cycles. I think it gets worse with generative AI and, fake videos and so on and so forth, and these deep fakes that are really hard to differentiate, which is why I would argue we have to go back to the protocol level. Project Liberty released a protocol called DSNP, which would free the data. Individuals would own and control their data, and then fantastic use cases get built in this new world where there is, it would be good if you kind of had to be a person on the internet and you couldn't be a machine spewing out false information. It'd kind of be good if we could attach the copyright or the ownership of a piece of content, something you create, is yours. It's not just up for grabs to be ingested, as Rebecca said. All of human creativity has now been ingested by machines without regard to who owns it. All these things can be fixed. The engineering part is actually the easy part. It's getting people to understand how important these issues are to democratic society, right? And with a contaminated information ecosystem, it's very hard to imagine we're going to flourish as civilization. And that's really information.